Haagen-Dazs and the honeybees. How exactly are these two correlated in the same thing? Haagen-Dazs is ice cream and honeybees is a living organism. Well, the history of Haagen-Dazs is that in 1960, Reuben Mattis made his dream come true by creating the finest ice cream around. They actually opened their first store in 1976 in Brooklyn Heights, New York. His daughter did that. In 1986 through 1998, so around 20 years or so, they created various flavors and different types of ice cream that were introduced to the Haagen-Dazs ice cream line. And then in 2008, Haagen-Dazs announced their bee-dependent ice cream flavor. But why is this significant? Why does Haagen-Dazs care about the honeybees? Well, it actually turns out that 80% of crops depend on bee pollination. They play the most important part in the pollination process. Without bees, the seed would never be able to turn into a fruit, because without pollination of the honeybees, it would never work. The colonies are dying. As an estimated of 13 million honeybees colonies disappeared in 2 years alone. That research was provided by different bee farmers, agricultural specialists, and different private bee organizations. The honeybees are needed to make the ice cream. Haagen-Dazs realized that without the honeybees, they wouldn't be able to create their all-natural ingredients that they need for their ice cream. In 2008, Haagen-Dazs introduced the Haagen-Dazs Loves Honeybees campaign. This is important because they saw a problem and they wanted to fix it. They did a few things that could get their consumers really involved in helping them recreate honeybee habitats. Here's a few things that they did. The primary objective for them was to create something that would be able to really help the honeybees. What they did was they created a 100% bee-dependent flavor that they have on every single container that is this honeybee flavor. It explains to them that without the honeybees and without the presence of the pollination process that they do, this flavor would be non-existent. And they have, throughout the years, they've come out with a few new flavors, but the vanilla honeybee was the very first one. The second thing that they did was they actually created a plantable advertisement, and that is so different than what people usually do. They partnered with a few different magazines, National Geographic, Martha Stewart Living, Gourmet Magazine, and they created this tear-out page to where you could plant the page and it would grow wildflowers that the honeybees would be able to use for the pollination process. And to the right you can actually see the advertisement. It says, "Plant this page, save a bee." And the little speckles are wildflower seeds that they were able to incorporate to this biodegradable page. And the three main partners that they did was important because each one of those magazines has a different target audience. They were able to really expand their viewing of this campaign in those three different magazines. The public response was more than they could have ever asked for. Their original goal was 125 million impressions over 12 months span. However, they surpassed that 125 million impressions in only 1 week. That is amazing. The media could not get enough of this honeybee story. They received over 1,000 media headlines, and that's anywhere from CNN to local news stations around the country. The campaign actually boosted their unit volume sales by 18%, and that actually brought them out of their 2-year decline from the company's sales from the ice cream. One of the greatest achievements, I think personally, is the Supreme Court representation that they were able to achieve through this campaign. The Supreme Court heard about what was going on with the honeybees and what Haagen-Dazs was doing, and they wanted to help. They were able to receive a meeting with the House of Agriculture to discuss more funding for the bees. And that is so great because now the government knows what's going on with the honeybees, and they are able to help the honeybees, the farmers, the pollination process, all of that combined. Haagen-Dazs used three primary social media resources. They used YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. Through their YouTube, they were able to create a virtual reality series that premiered in 2018. This is the most recent tool that they've been able to use for the honeybee campaign. Alex the honeybee takes the viewer through a virtual reality experience to see what a healthy honeybee crop looks like versus a crop that has no honeybees. The viewer is really able to experience life as a bee and how everything works in the pollination process and how bees really do help the crops. In Twitter, when the campaign first premiered, they used the hashtag help the honeybee, and this really was able to create buzz for the campaign because celebrities used it, regular people used it, and then people who had businesses and other large businesses were able to use this hashtag too, and they also wanted to help Haagen-Dazs help the honeybees, and that was really cool to experience too. They use Instagram and they post every single month about the honeybees and the honeybee dependent flavors. They either post a fact about the bee or a picture of the bee dependent ice cream and remind the consumers that without the honeybees that this ice cream flavor would not be possible. They always include a link to their website to be able to click on so that you can go to their website and learn more about what they're doing to help the honeybees. Haagen-Dazs and the honeybees campaign was an extreme success. I don't think that the company thought that they would ever be able to do as much as they've been doing. The impact that they actually had in raising awareness for the bees and for actually raising money to help rebuild these lost honeybee colonies. Haagen-Dazs heard about a problem that not only was affecting their company, but affecting the entire world. They actively got people involved instead of just liking and sharing a post. And that is really important because today it is so much easier just to click share on a post instead of going out and actually doing something. Honeybees are important to this society, and Haagen-Dazs understood that action will change.